Health First Community Health Center. We offer financial and prescription assistance to all those that qualify, which is based on income and household size. Contact our office at 1-877-667-7017 for more information, or visit our website, healthfirstchc.net. Same-day appointments and walk-ins are welcome. At Health First, your health is our first concern.
The Auction Center in Princeton is open every day, Monday through Friday from 10 to 4. Yeah, you'll love going there for auctions, but you don't have to wait for an auction. You can shop any day of the week. You'll find a large selection of quality used furniture for sale, like bedroom suits, tables, chairs, chests, accessories, and as Wayne likes to say, just a lot of good stuff. Stop in soon at the Auction Center, Highway 62 West in Princeton. Open Monday through Friday from 10 to 4.
Shopping can be overwhelming. At Joe & Co. Boutique, it's their priority to get to know you. Enjoy a personal, stress-free shopping experience, making you feel valued as a customer and person. Joe & Co. is a size-inclusive boutique carrying clothing and gift favorites such as Judy Blue, Vintage Havana, Savannah Jane, and Kendra Scott. Located on Fairview Avenue in Eddyville, or shop joeandcoboutique.com.
Hey, besties. It's your girl, Jo. Can't wait to see you at the boutique.
At YourSportsEdge.com, we strive every day to continue to bring you the gold standard in high school sports coverage with more on your teams and your players.
Or did it show up there?
And while they are not gold, those Crystal Awards we have won for doing what we love to do are pretty cool, too.
That's something you see every day.
The Kentucky Broadcasters' Best Digital Product Award winner.
Ball game over.
YourSportsEdge.com.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton, the WPKY studios. Thanks for tuning in this morning. We got another big show lined up for everyone. A little bit later on this morning, we'll talk with new Caldwell County baseball head coach Josh Young. But we're going to start the day with former Caldwell County basketball standout Matt Fralix. And Matt, good morning. Thanks for coming out on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me come on the show. It's good to be here.
Yeah, you know, we tried to make this work a couple of times and never could quite get the timing right, so I'm glad you could come in today.
Right. It especially helps with the timing since I'm back. You know, it makes it a little bit easier, and I'm able to be here. So I, again, appreciate you inviting me to come on.
Yeah, for sure. You know, what's it like to be back home, and was that always one of the plans for you?
It's definitely a great feeling to be back. You know, I've been blessed to be able to do things for the last 10 years since I got married, and been able to work with some great people, coach in a couple of different districts. But, you know, my heart was always here in Caldwell County. I know I've spoken with you a few times, and it's just once a Tiger, always a Tiger.
Yeah.
It's just kind of been my mentality about it. But I was never really sure if it was ever going to be able to work out for different reasons. But, you know, sometimes when the Lord opens a door and he says, hey, this is where I want you to go. I want you to go where I want you to go back to where you came from. You know, it's you take that opportunity, and I'm just very thankful and very blessed. The people of the community, they've been very welcoming back for me and my family. It's a great community. You know, I've always loved it, and it's always had a special place in my heart. So it's great to be back.
Well, and you're already helping coach the Caldwell County boys basketball team.
Right, yeah. Coach Cookie Hiko asked me to join his staff and to work with him. So I'm super excited about that. You know, it's a program that I grew up, you know, just dreaming to play for. You know, it's kids in Kentucky, they always dream about playing, you know, for the Kentucky Wildcats or the Louisville Cardinals, or maybe in this local, maybe more Western Kentucky or Murray State or something like that. You know, when I was 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, what I wanted to be was a Caldwell County Tiger. You know, because I just what I wanted to be, and just to be able to be back and working with the boys, and, you know, learning with Coach K, and then working with Coach Curran, you know, as well. It's been a great blessing.
Well, and you're not just a former Tiger. You're actually Caldwell County's all-time leading scorer with 2,941 points. And, you know, I know that's a great thing to have, but it also had to be fun when you were in high school because the guy you were chasing was Michael Fralix.
Yeah. It definitely made it a little bit more interesting, just with us being cousins and being family members and seeing each other at our grandmother's house every Sunday for after church lunch, and then we'd goof around and talk. When I would see him then, it was, hey, Michael. Whenever we'd roll around in practice, we could see each other in practice an hour later, and then it was Coach Fralix. But it was great to be able to experience that entire 3-year run with him from my sophomore year to my senior year. And I was blessed and fortunate to be able to get to play alongside some great guys, guys that I still try the best I can to stay in contact with, even 15 years later, but I was blessed and fortunate to have a great group of guys that I got to play alongside for my time as a Tiger.
I always thought that was fun that Michael was coaching you as you were trying to get his record. And, we saw that in football. Coach David Barnes had the rushing record for a single game for a long time, but he was willing to let somebody else have that. And I just think that's a really cool thing that, records are fun, but I think we all kind of like to see them broken, sometimes even if it's your own record.
Right. It was definitely an emotional journey. Anyone that asks me, who do I think is the best to ever play for Caldwell, I will say hands down it's Michael. It kind of goes alongside that whole, I've heard someone with the whole Jordan and LeBron argument, they say, LeBron wore 23 because of Michael. Mm-hmm. They said it wasn't, Michael didn't wear 23 because of LeBron. So Michael always gave me something to look at and to shoot towards and to aspire to try and achieve. And a lot of it, that senior year for me especially, there were times that Michael had to, because I wanted to win, and that was all that it really mattered to me. And so a lot of times you'd have Michael or teammates that would say, hey, quit passing, shoot the ball, you're open. Because I'd say, okay, I have a good shot, but, or Coley Rogers or Ben Hudson or Jake Pepper or LJ or somebody had a great shot. And so I'd pass it off, and, you'd hear him say, don't, you've got a good shot, take it. So, again, that kind of goes back to being blessed and fortunate to play alongside some great guys. And just to experience when I broke the record in the region tournament my senior year, for him to call a timeout not long after that and, give me a hug and say, you got it. It was just kind of this accumulation of the amount of hours that he and I had spent together. Because, records, like you said, are great, but we were chasing something bigger, which was a region title. Unfortunately, we fell short of it, but that was a great experience, and he and I still talk about it and laugh about it from time to time.
But those were some great Caldwell County basketball teams, and it's so tough to try to win the regional tournament, especially in basketball.
It is. You've got your Hopkinsvilles, your Madisonvilles, your Hendersons.
Always, yeah.
They're always in the hunt for it. You've had you at University Heights, which is usually right there in the middle of it as well. So for that 06-07 season, for people to put us, I think there was a final ranking that came out right before the region tournament that put, I think, Christian County as number 1, and I think us as number 2, and then Henderson, it was 3. And that, for us, the group of guys that I played alongside, it was, again, just kind of this fulfillment of this, okay, we've put so much hours into it, we put so much work into it to try and push Caldwell County to be the best that it could be. And that group of guys that I played with, we'd been together since we were elementary school and traveled around. And there had been times throughout those years that we got our butts beat by some Bowling Green teams and some Louisville teams and Lexington teams. But it definitely made us come together, whereas a lot of times when you're kids, you're getting your butts beat. You might be like, oh, I don't want to play this anymore. I don't want to do this. But we came together and we were like, let's do everything we can. And eventually we started beating those teams. And then it kind of, into our senior years of high school, it contributed to that. I think 24-3 or 23-4 or something like that our senior year in a 7th district championship.
Well, and that's something I was going to bring up. That 2007 team is the last one to win a district championship in basketball. So that just goes back to what I was talking about, how difficult it is in basketball to get past the Madisonvilles, and then you get to the region and you have all those good teams.
Right. Coach Kukihiko has had an incredible run as the head coach here. He's done a tremendous job And he's had, he's been in the district championship a lot, and he's had a lot of opportunities to win it and just kind of fallen short. And sometimes that's just the way, the dice fall or the cookie crumbles. We played alongside Madisonville that senior year. We only got to play them one time during the season. And one of the things that I find interesting is we played them here at Caldwell my senior year. And that was the night that Coley Rogers actually injured his finger out working in the field. He was doing a little chores before he had to come back and play, and he injured his finger on his shooting hand. And so he actually got stitches and got his finger all wrapped up and then showed up still wanting to play. And, of course, that kind of just attributes to that mentality that we had, this fight that was, we're going to do everything we can to win. You're going to have to kill us to beat us. And Michael told him, he's like, no, you're not going to play. We would love it you're here. We want you to be here, but you're not going to play because we don't want you to make this injury any worse. And, of course, Madisonville, I think, beat us 6 or 7 that night. And, of course, that's without one of your starters. Yeah. So even though we lost, we knew that night, okay, Madisonville is supposed to be a top-tier team in the region, and they beat us without a starter, barely beat us without a starter. So I think we can beat them. And then the district championship rolled around, and it was a run-and-gun game from the start. It was high scoring. I think it was 80-something to 70-something. So it was a great game to be a part of. And just the atmosphere. And I know every time that I see Tom Rogers, he used to do the radio from when we played for our games. And I told him anytime I'm feeling down or depressed about anything, all I got to do is listen to the recording of the final minutes of that district championship game. Oh, yeah. And it just brings chills to your spine. And it just brings, just so many emotions and memories back. And being able to cut down those nets and raise that district championship trophy and to bring a title back to Caldwell County, especially in a district that when we were moved over, a lot of people said, well, they'll never compete. They'll never be in a district championship game. They're not going to be able to handle Hopkins Central. They're not going to be able to handle Madisonville. So it's over for Caldwell. So for us to be able to do that was a real blessing, and we were very fortunate to be able to do that.
We're talking with Matt Fralix this morning on the Sideline Report here on WPKY. And Matt, looking back to last season, I really thought the Tigers had a good chance at that district championship because I thought Caldwell actually matched up better with Madisonville than Hopkins Central did. But Michael's team over at Hopkins Central got hot at the right time and kind of bumped out Caldwell in the semis.
Yeah, I was there that night, and watching that team that Michael had last year, it was eerily similar to what the team that we had my senior year. He had so many different weapons that you just didn't know where it was going to come from. A lot of people assumed when I was averaging in the 30s and scoring in the 40s, like, you key on Matt, that's the game's over, but Coley could easily drop 30 in a game. Jake could drop 25 to 30. LJ could grab you 15, 20 rebounds and get you 10 to 15 points. Rodney Bell was just tenacious on defense, wouldn't shoot the ball no matter how many times we told him to, but, he was one that would just, we'd put him on the best offensive player on the other team, and he'd just shut him down. And then Ben Hudson, and we had a few guys that we'd bring off the bench, and that team was a very well-rounded team that Michael had. But I really did when that, and Caldwell didn't that night. They just didn't shoot it as well in the second half as what they normally do. Colin and Carter. I think Colin was actually still coming back from a ankle injury. Yeah. So if you have Caldwell at full strength, I think there might be a different outcome, but that's just not the way it happens in basketball. Sometimes you catch guys that are hurt some nights, but Michael had a really good team. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a great coach. The success that he has shows that he's a good coach, and I just know that if you have everybody at full strength, I think there's a different outcome in that game, and I think Caldwell has a really good shot at beating Madisonville in the district championship. But again, with the way basketball is, it's a one game at a time kind of thing.
You played for the Kentucky All-Stars as a senior in 2007. Jay Breon Spikes just recently played. How much did you get to see Jay Breon play this past year, and what were kind of your thoughts on his game?
Well, that's one of the great things about the world that we live in now is the way that technology has come. Back even when I was in high school, if you wanted to see somebody play, you had to go to the gym.
There was no live streaming back then.
There wasn't any live streaming. So I guess if you could say there's a good thing that's really happened because of COVID, it's a whole lot of the live streaming. But being able to watch his development over the years, because I kept up with him when Caden was playing. So, obviously Caden graduated in 2020, so it's just a couple of years ago for him. But Jabrion was a couple of years younger than Caden, so being able to watch his development over the years and to see the amount of work that he had put into it, I'm very and whenever he broke the single game record, when he broke the 49 record that I had said, I texted him a couple of days later. I got his number and I congratulated him and told him I was really happy for him, and then for him to go on and win second region player of the year. Again, reached out to him, congratulated him. I thought that was great. It was kind of just this fulfillment of, I know all the hours to be able to do something like he had done. I could empathize with it. I knew the sacrifices that he had made, and I knew that what he had put into it. And, so he's a tremendous ball player. He's very athletic. He's quick. He's got a good shot. He's got a good head on his shoulders. A lot of times there's guys who are quick and athletic, maybe really good ball players, but they might be a head case and hard to control. But that's not Jabrion. He does everything he can to help his team win, and it's from tip to the final horn. You got to knock him down, you got to kill him in order to beat him. And so I'm excited to see what his future is going to be going forward. I know he had a really great game, the second game against Indiana.
Yeah,
so
22 points.
That was really great, and it's a little different than what it used to be. Of course, I think they played back-to-back nights nowadays.
Used to be a week apart.
Back when we played, I think it was 2.
Okay.
I think there may have been 1, but there was a little bit of a gap. You would play, and then you'd have a week or so, and then you'd play again. And I didn't make it for the second one because I had to be up at Murray, so I wasn't able to play in the second Kentucky-Indiana game my senior year. But I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of the accomplishments that he had, and of course, you hear all the things about what he is as a person. What he's like off the court, and so that just attributes just to the kind of person that he is. And I couldn't be more happy for him.
Well, I was there the night you got 49 over at Webster County, and then I wasn't sure we'd ever see anybody get 50, and when Jabrion topped that mark over at Dawson Springs, I thought, well, that will last for a while. And then the 59 he got over at Hopkinsville was just unreal.
I know, I remember watching that one. I didn't have a game that night, so I was able to tune in for that one at Hopkinsville, and it was from start to finish. And I mean, you have to, when you do the math and you think about a high school game, it's 32 minutes long, and to score 50 or more points, I mean, you're scoring every possession, almost every minute. I mean, it's incredible what you have to be able to do that. And not only is it a compliment to him as an individual ball player, but it's a compliment to his teammates. It's probably not easy to let somebody else do all the scoring or let somebody else be the person that's in the headlines. So for them to be able to do that and to let him do what he does and to be able to help the team, that's a big compliment to them as teammates.
How do you kind of look at basketball? Because, some people think that all 5 players should be equal contributors on the court. And I've always thought that, if you have somebody that can shoot the ball, they need to be the one shooting the ball most of the time. If one guy gets 50 and you win, why do we care that one guy got 50? If this guy's a great rebounder, let him go get 20 rebounds. If this guy's a shutdown defender, let him do that. But if you're a shooter, that's what you need to be doing, right?
Right. That was kind of something that, my growing up with basketball, of course, Roy Gene Rogers was our kind of travel coach, and my dad as well. They'd coach us in travel ball because when travel ball started, it wasn't this AAU that we see it as now. It was these little county schools that would just put a group of kids together. But that was something that Roy Gene and my dad kind of established into us, was you got to figure out what you do that helps the team win. What is it? What are your strengths? If you're a lockdown defender, and that's what you do, it was kind of like, and I'll forward it to 2007, like Rodney Bell. Rodney Bell was not a scorer. That wasn't his mentality. That wasn't what he did to to help us win. He would lock down somebody. He would aggravate them from all 84 feet. And occasionally he might, get a steal and make a layup. I know he had a few big layups in the district championship that he got off steals. That you had that, and then you had Coley Rogers, who was another great defender, but Coley could knock down shots. You had L.J. Wilson, who was a tremendous rebounder. Then there was me, who my main goal was, to try and put the ball in the hole, but I also wanted to do anything else that I could, whether it be get some rebounds, get some deflections, because we usually played that 1-2-2 zone, and I would always play the top, and I would just try to irritate people with my length. I was never the quickest or the most athletic, so I just had to use my God-given length. But I feel like that's what you got to do. You got to help kids be able to find what they do that's going to help the team be able to win. And whether that be scoring the ball, whether it be rebounding, whether it be playing defense. If you've got players who can do multiple things, then you encourage them to do those multiple things. You just got to, and Michael always had a quote that he would tell us, like, do your job. Do what we need you to do in order to win. That's how I feel about basketball, is that you do what you can in order to help the team win.
Yeah, I always thought people got too locked up in this. Everybody's got to score 15 points and grab 7 or 8 rebounds. I think, some guys do other things better, and you need to do what you can do. I mean,
if you have a team where you've got 5 or 6 guys who can all average 15 to 20 and get 10 to 15 rebounds, then by all means encourage that. Yeah. But, if you just have to look at the makeup of individual teams, because teams are different from year in and year out. You have new players, you have players that graduate, things like that. So you got to find, and that's one of the challenges of coaching, is that you got to find what does this player do to help the team overall be able to win.
You mentioned your dad, and we're going to get him in here one of these days to talk Fredonia basketball. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. But he's actually been trying to find the family point total. There's been a lot of Fralix's play, and there's been a lot of points scored. You and Michael have, 5,800 between you, more or less. So what's he up to now, about 12,000 points, or is it past that?
Let's see. The last that I remember, I think, what was the gentleman's name? Was it Bob Watkins?
Yeah.
Used to do a write-up, and he actually, right at the end of my senior year, of course, there was a lot of interest right there at the end of my senior year, because I was getting close to Michael's record, and people were wondering, was I going to pass it? Was I not? And I think he wrote an article that said that the entire Fralix family, from what he could find of records and stuff, had eclipsed over 11,000 points, and that's not just Caldwell County basketball alone, but Fredonia, and I think there was one in Livingston, but just whether it be my dad or his brothers, or maybe a great uncles or cousins. The last that I had remembered, and this was before Mackenzie and Caden came along, and Caden got pretty close. I think he was in the 900s. Mackenzie was, I think, about halfway. But Mackenzie, that's something I joke about with her, is that she has more district titles than any of us.
Yeah.
I only have 1. Michael has 2, but Mackenzie has 3.
Yeah.
So it's she definitely left her mark on Lady Tiger basketball.
You were the head coach last year over at Todd County Central of the girls program. What were some things you learned there that maybe you can take with you as you keep moving forward as a coach?
It's a lot of people don't really know all the ins and outs of what goes on behind the scenes, and that was one of the big things that I learned this past year being the head coach at Todd Central, was all of that goes into the preparation. Previously being an assistant coach and, even being a middle school coach, there's not as much preparation. A lot of it is, okay, you watch a little bit of film as an assistant coach with, maybe, and then you kind of figure out, okay, here's a couple of things that this team does. So you might be in charge of doing a scouting report or things like that. But as a head coach, you have to work on not only getting scouting reports together, but player development. You have to also make sure that you are having your players stay on top of their grades and things like that. So the biggest thing that I took from being the head coach at Todd Central last year was just the management of it and what goes on, and being able to understand and empathize, what Coach K has on his plate, and Coach Mitchell as well. And I know when the conversations between Coach K and I started about me coming here and being an assistant coach, that was the biggest thing for me, was telling him, I want to do whatever you need me to do to be able to help you be successful. what do you need me to do to be able to take something off your plate? That way you can focus more on helping the team become the best that it can be. And then as in turn, I'm doing the same thing as helping the team become the best that it can be.
Talking this morning with Matt Fralix here on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, appreciate you coming in this morning. And the big question, though, I have for you, and the head coaches always enjoy it when I ask them this, but you've played, you've coached. What's kind of your thoughts on where the state of high school basketball is right now?
Man, that is a tough question. I think it's good. It's getting ready to enter into a type of ball that we haven't really seen before. You know, you have a whole lot of these private schools that are coming up. Then you have with these NIL deals with these college players. You know, I think just a couple of weeks ago, I think I saw somewhere where Tim Hayworth up at Louisville Mail, he lost one of his best young players because he's transferring to Trinity or something like that. So you definitely are going to see a lot of, I think, that going on where kids are going to be thinking, okay, I need to get my brand started so that way when I'm getting ready to go to the next level, I can have an NIL deal. I can be making some money in college. You know, whereas when we were playing, we were just thankful for somebody to be looking at us, and they're like, okay, you know, we're going to pay for your books and for your meals, and you're like, oh shoot, sign me up, you know. But there's a part of me that would like to see some changes happen with high school basketball. I think this state tournament, you saw something that, you know, hadn't been seen for several decades, which was Lyon County, a single A school, making it to the second round. You know, congratulations to them. And then you had, you know, Pikeville make it to, was it Final Four, or were they second round too?
Oh, I can't remember, but
I mean, like they were a Class A school, you know, even though they did have some kids move in, but there's a part of me that would like to see Kentucky basketball go to a class system. You don't necessarily have to maybe have 6 classes or anything like that. Maybe just do like 1, 2, 3, 4, because you could even have your Final Fours. The format of it, if you did like your Final Four of your single A, 2A, 3A, 4A, there's 16 teams right there. There could be your Sweet 16. And you would automatically have 4 single A schools. You'd have 4 double A schools. You would have 4 3A and 4 4As. And it would give smaller schools like a Lyon County, like a Caldwell County, like, you know, schools around here a chance to play in the Sweet 16. It just doesn't happen. Just, you know, we have Hopkinsville that we have to compete with, and Madisonville and Christian County and Henderson, and of course now I think this is the last year for Christian County High School and Hopkinsville High School, and when they consolidate those 2 schools, you know, that's going to be a tough team to get through in any sport.
The largest school in the second region when it all finishes up.
I mean, there's a part of me that would like to see that would like to see a class system happen to where you give smaller schools the opportunity to be able to play in a state tournament. But at the same time, you don't want to take away the mystique of it and the special thing that people that are outside of the state talk about Kentucky. Like it's so cool that there's only one state champion, and it could be anybody. You know, and you're sitting there thinking people who have lived here and seen ball here, you're like, yeah, well, they say it could be anybody, but it's usually going to be somebody from Lexington, Louisville.
6A, 5A kind of school.
You might get a Bowling Green, like, you know, when Warren Central won it in 2004. So, you know, but Warren Central's what, 4A?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of a little double-edged sword kind of thing. If you say, I want classes, then people will just attack you. Or if you say, I want to stay the way that it is, there's people that will attack you for it. Me personally, I would like to see a class system start to happen, just because I think back to my senior year, had there been a class system where there were other 2A schools that we had to play against, I feel like we would have had a real good shot to represent Class 2A in a Sweet 16. Because I think University Heights, my senior year, was a Final Four in the All-A state tournament, and we beat them twice. So it just kind of puts it out there and just be like, okay, it could work. Maybe try it out. You've already got the 1A tournament that goes on, and we've got this 2A tournament that started several years ago. So, you know, maybe eventually kind of move into where we have classes, but I think it's still several years off. There's still a lot of people that are just completely against it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like I told Lyon County last year when they got to the semifinals of the state tournament in baseball. I'm like, what you guys did was a bigger accomplishment than Trinity winning state just because of the situation you come from and the situation they came from.
Right. I mean, and people were talking more about Lyon County. Like,
Yeah.
if you looked on Twitter or Facebook, you'd be like, okay, well, who are the other 3 teams that are in the semifinals? They would be like, this Lyon County team captured everybody's attention. Like, you have this little school front that has no football team or anything like that. They have basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, and it was great. And then to see them turn around this next year and then make it to the second round of the Sweet 16 in basketball. So, I don't know if...
Again, that's like winning the state if you're a small school.
It's, and that's what I've told people. Like, that's what I wanted more than anything was, even if we got beat 40 or 50 in the first round, I wanted to at least just represent Caldwell County in the state tournament. And that's, fortunately, we fell just a little bit short of that. But I feel like we had a legit shot in 2007 to be one of those teams that came out of here.
Well, I appreciate you coming in today and talking, and there's other things we can talk about, so you'll have to come back sometime.
Definitely. I appreciate you having me come in.
Yeah, that's Matt Fralix, former Caldwell County Tiger, and now a member of the Caldwell County boys basketball coaching staff. Appreciate him coming in. Stay with us. We've got Josh Young, Caldwell County's new baseball head coach, coming up next as we continue here on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Life is filled with moments we share with those we love, worry about, and strive to protect the most. At Woodman Life, we provide life insurance and retirement products to help protect you and your family so that you can enjoy all the moments to come.
This is Josh Ray, your local Woodman Life agent. Come see us at 1009 West Main Street or give us a call at 365-6111.
Certain eligibility and age restrictions apply. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska.
At Trice Hughes, they're ordering it your way. How would you like to have a vehicle built just for you? Little things are important, like rich colors, big screens and displays, almost like watching TV. Exteriors with beautiful style and powerful engines that respond to the lightest touch on the accelerator. It's time to get what you want. Order your new ride and feel the thrill when you drive off the lot. Trice Hughes in Princeton is the one-stop shop for everything your vehicle needs. For more information, visit tricehughes.com. That's tricehughes.com.
Sanctuary Incorporated delivers caring, comprehensive support to victims of personal violence in Caldwell, Christian, Crittenden, Hopkins, Livingston, Lyon, Muhlenberg, Todd, and Trigg counties. Their mission is to seek to empower through crisis intervention, peer support, victim advocacy, and community education. You are not alone. Sanctuary Incorporated is a place of refuge and safety, healing, and hope. The crisis line is open 24/7, 365 days a year. 1-800-766-0000.
7 is a lucky number for a lot of people, including DJ's Flooring. For the 7th time, they've won a Best of Western Kentucky award. To celebrate, DJ's Flooring has priced everything in stock on sale so it moves quickly. Save money on carpet, luxury vinyl, tile, hardwood, rugs, vinyl, and remnants. DJ's Flooring has to make room for new inventory. The sale is happening now at DJ's Flooring on the Boulevard in Hopkinsville.
DJ's never has a sale, but they are this time. Hurry in now for the best selection.
Back on the Sideline Report at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Emma Talley is on the golf course on the LPGA Tour this morning, getting an early start up in Belmont, Michigan, through 9 holes. Emma is tied for 32nd overall. She is even, and that's after a couple of early bogeys got her to 2 over. She came back to birdie 7 and 8 back-to-back, so Emma Talley is even through 9 holes in the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give that's being played up in Michigan this week. And again, first round action up there today. Emma teed off about 6:15 our time, so she's halfway through her first round. Stay with us. We continue on the Sideline Report after this break on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Brantley Furniture, family owned and located in the heart of downtown Princeton. Jeannie and Megan invite you to come in and check out their selection of furniture, bedding, and gifts. Financing is available.
Your Weather Edge Weather Center forecast, we remain under an excessive heat warning from the National Weather Service until 8 o'clock tonight as hot temperatures, sunny skies, and heavy heat indices linger all around western Kentucky. This afternoon, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 96, and then tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 75. Might see a little bit of a break in the action on Friday with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny around it with a high of 96, and then Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 67. Saturday, temperatures look like they're going to dip below 90. But back to this afternoon, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be hot, and it's going to feel like 106.
Need cash fast? Contact ABC Finance now.
Does your honey-do list of repairs around the house seem to keep growing? What if you go to get your mower out and it will not start?
Whatever it is, you want to resolve your problem quickly and get back to regular life.
Hi, this is Savannah Seymour at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
This is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
We can help you buy a new mower or take care of those honeydews.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointments needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call and we will take your application over the phone.
Or apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
Our commitment is to make the loan process quick, easy, and stress-free. We can even consolidate all loans into one easy payment. For more information and for great money and credit tips, like ABC Finance on Facebook.
All loans subject to normal credit approval.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, thanks to Matt Fralix for coming in and being on the show this morning. Appreciate his time. Joining us now in the studio is brand new Caldwell County Tiger baseball head coach Josh Young. And Josh, thanks for coming in. Congratulations on getting the baseball job.
Appreciate it. Always great to be here, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Just kind of looking forward to it.
What's kind of your thoughts on taking over the baseball program?
You know, I'm excited. I'm ready to kind of jump into things. I thought we had a really good season last year. I learned a lot, especially from Coach Dyer this past year, and especially from Coach Towns, playing under him for X amount of years. I mean, he's invaluable, his knowledge, him and Coach Mack as well. And so trying to take what I know from what I've learned from them and apply it to, okay, this is how you run a program, this is how you lead a baseball team. And so really looking forward, kind of anxious, excited to kind of just jump into it and just get the ball rolling.
Well, you were an assistant coach this year on the Tiger baseball team, and I really thought Coach Dyer kind of let you do some things that a head coach would do, so you're kind of ahead of the game just a little bit.
He did. He was really good about that, which he told me from the get-go. He said, eventually this is going to be your team, and he did lead in a way that kind of allowed me to become in somewhat a head coach, but also an assistant at the same time. He gave me some head coach responsibilities on the field, off the field, things like that. And so he made a really good point kind of at the end of the season. He said, this is kind of like a student teaching type deal. You've gone through the year, and now it's your time to kind of run this team and do some things that you would want to do as a head coach. And so really grateful for that opportunity. It allowed me to get my feet wet and kind of just understand and try some things, see what works, what doesn't work, and so really grateful for that from Coach Dyer.
How do you intend to put your stamp on the program? Because it's a Tiger baseball team that has historically had a lot of success.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you look years back. I mean, the program has gotten better year by year, and so you look. I think the biggest thing for me, the first thing I want to do is establish a culture. I think winning is established based off of your culture. And obviously the number one priority is not to win baseball games, it's to develop young men. And so I think you do that by a culture. This is how we're going to run things. This is how we're going to play the game of baseball. This is how we're going to operate on the field, off the field. And I think it starts with 4 words. It's character, accountability, sacrifice, and brotherhood. I think those are the 4 words that I want to instill into our guys, instill into our coaching staff of, okay, this is Caldwell County baseball, and this is kind of how we're going to progress through the years, and we're going to make our mark in the second region or in the state or whatever it may be.
Well, at what point did becoming a baseball head coach kind of come on your radar? Because you played in 2016 at Caldwell County. That's not that long ago.
No, it's not. If you would have asked me in high school or in college if I wanted to be a baseball head coach, I probably would have told you no. just because I always maybe thought football was the way to go, and I love coaching football. I love with Coach Barnes, Coach Riley, and being with those guys. But I think when I came back to Caldwell County this past year, and Coach Dyer reached out, said, "Hey, I would like for you to coach. There could be an opportunity for you down the road." I sat down with my wife and my parents and family and kind of said, "What would this be a good opportunity?" And so I think kind of then is when it started to enter the mind of, hey, maybe this could be a program that I could take over. It'll be a good place. It's home. I know the community. I know kind of the culture, how it's established. And so I'd say maybe last year or so kind of entered the mind of, hey, maybe this could be something that I could take over and really run with.
I think the last 2 years have kind of shown where the Tiger baseball program is a little bit, because neither year were the Tigers even picked to win the district, I don't think, or
right.
Not a whole lot was thought of the team going into the season. And both years the team won the district and then had a good showing at region.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, again, you just look back at what is Caldwell County baseball, and I mean, Coach Downs has instilled this for the last 20 years that he coached. Caldwell County is a blue-collar team, and we don't have the indoor facilities, we don't have the nice things, we don't have all the money that's pouring in, but at the end of the day, Caldwell County baseball, you show up to the field, you work hard, and you play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And that's what our guys have done the last year or two, and the last year in and year out, is you show up to the park, you're ready to play, and you're going to grind out a win, and you're going to grind out a game. And you look back at you get 2 district championships in 2 years where nobody's picked you to win it. And this last year, you're 2 outs and 2 runs away from a regional championship game. And so yeah, I mean, it's just Caldwell County baseball. You grind it out, you do what you got to do to try to win a baseball game.
I really felt like this year's team got about everything out of its ability that was there. You know, I think if you look at it objectively, you'd say, well, probably at least 1 pitcher short, probably 1 hitter short, but the guys never really bought into that. They just went out and figured out a way to compete. And like you said, you were an inning away from playing for the regional championship.
Right. I mean, you look back, you can always say what if, or I wish we had this, and it's credit to our guys. Our guys entering the postseason really kind of came together and said, listen, I think we got a shot at this, and they really just came together and said, hey, we're just going to go play ball. We know what we've got. This is the guys that we have. We're not a new Elijah Sindelar is not coming in from wherever. And so they really rallied around each other. They rallied around the seniors, playing for the seniors and playing for each other. And I think, and you look what happened. You make a run in the postseason. You make some noise and kind of get yourself on the radar for teams that, hey, Caldwell County is one of those teams that you kind of got to watch out for.
Do you ever have enough pitching, really, though? Because that 2016 team that won the regional championship, I thought you guys were loaded, and it took everything you had to get through the regional tournament that year.
Yeah, you can never have enough arms. I mean, you look back at the best teams. I mean, obviously they've got a plethora of arms, but, I mean, the most valuable thing in baseball, in my opinion, is pitching, and so you can never have too much. If you have too little, it can kind of hurt you at times, and so but no, you can never have too many arms.
What are your thoughts as you look back on that 2016 team, and the team won it again in 2017, so it's kind of been a pretty good role the team has been on for, at least 7, 8, 9 years.
Oh yeah, you look back at that 2016 team, and I mean, you've got some good baseball players. You've got Luke Brown, who played at Murray. You've got Noah Brown, who's at Asbury. You've got Shane Burns, who was at Murray, all OVC pitcher, and Jace Felker, who's at Kentucky. Bryce Thomas at Northern. I mean, Tate Van Hooser was a young guy. I mean, you got talent all over the place. And so you really look. I mean, all of those guys could pitch, and I mean, you've got position players, but you've also got guys that can step on the bump and kind of really give you a chance, throw strikes, throw some ground balls. And I mean, and you look at again the 2017 year, and you lose, I think maybe 3 seniors, but really you've got the core of that team coming back the next year, and they made a run. And I mean, it goes back to arms, but I mean, there was a lot of talent on those teams, and again, when talent is going to get you a long way. But I think the big thing with those guys is they were willing to work hard. They were willing to do the dirty things in practice. They were willing to get their feet dirty, get their hands dirty, and really grind it out. And I think it paid off dividends, and win a regional tournament back-to-back years, go to the state tournament. I mean, they grinded it out. They were ready to portray what is Caldwell County baseball.
Yeah, the worst thing that happened to those teams was the draw at state, because, I mean, you get Scott County, and they're one of the top 1 or 2 teams each year.
Right. I mean, when we saw the draw in 16, and we were excited to be there, but I think really we kind of gave ourselves a shot. I think we were confident in our abilities, and we knew, okay, Scott County, one of the biggest schools in the state, but we knew we could play with them, and ended up losing 1-0 in extra innings. But I think if we win that game, I really do think we make a run. But you know, it always comes down to the draw and how many arms you got, and so they just. I don't know. They got the better of us on that one, I guess.
Well, and if the first baseman doesn't make a diving stab late in the game,
right,
you guys have a couple of runs. So,
right.
Talking this morning with Josh Young, Caldwell County Tiger baseball head coach. Need to get to a timeout, but we'll continue here on the Sideline Report right after this on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Raider Auction Company, Hopkinsville, buys and sells farm equipment every day. Find out more at RaiderAuctionCompany.com. That's ROEDER auctioncompany.com.
Your Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. We remain under an excessive heat warning from the National Weather Service until 8 o'clock tonight, as hot temperatures, sunny skies, and heavy heat indices linger all around western Kentucky. This afternoon, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 96, and then tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 75. Might see a little bit of a break in the action on Friday with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny around it with a high of 96, and then Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 67. Saturday, temperatures look like they're going to dip below 90. But back to this afternoon, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be hot, and it's going to feel like 106.
Ready to brave the challenge? Need a kickstart to your career in criminal justice? The Kentucky State Penitentiary is seeking motivated individuals up for the challenge. Openings now for correctional officers in Eddyville at the state's only maximum security correctional institution. Applicants must be high school graduate or have GED. 20 years of age, drug screening, testing, and background checks required. Apply on Facebook or Instagram, or call Lieutenant Primo 270-625-8146. Kentucky State Penitentiary, an equal opportunity employer, male, female, disabled.
Willow Pond in Eddyville is famous for their delicious fish, white beans, and hush puppies. Something you may not know about Willow Pond is that you can purchase all your favorites in large quantities to feed any number of people. This is perfect for family gatherings, the holidays, and corporate events or parties. Let Willow Pond make your life easier and your event delicious. Just contact Willow Pond of Eddyville for details and pricing. Willow Pond of Eddyville.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. We're talking this morning with Caldwell County Tiger baseball head coach Josh Young, just recently hired as the new baseball coach at Caldwell County. And Josh, as you look ahead to next season, what's your thoughts on maybe the 2023 Tiger baseball team?
Yeah, really excited. I mean, you lose 3 guys from last year, so really you got kind of a good core coming back. I mean, you lose Logan Smiley and Bizzle and Gabe, and kind of 3 guys that really were pretty valuable to the program. But I mean, looking back, you got some young guys that are gonna get a year better, get a year more experience, and I'm really excited. We're gonna play a lot of games. We're gonna play a pretty decent schedule. We're gonna play some teams that maybe we haven't played before. Really kind of test our limits, see how good we are, and kind of play some better teams, hopefully in preparation for postseason baseball. Hey, we played the good teams. Now we're equipped and we're ready to make a run in the postseason. So,
do you have a style of baseball that you prefer, or just kind of keeping with what Caldwell typically does?
I think a little bit of both. We're going to stick to the traditional Caldwell County baseball. We're not going to be too flashy. I'm not big on the flashy style of baseball, the pimping home runs and bat flips and all that stuff, but we're going to play baseball the way it's supposed to be played. We're going to do some things on the field that maybe are a little risky, that maybe try to earn a run, get a run here or there, steal some bases, things like that, but defensively will be pretty similar to what it's been, offensively pretty similar, but we'll kind of add a little bit of stuff here and there.
You played at Caldwell County, got to play some college baseball. What are some things maybe you picked up at those spots that can help you?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you look back on the playing years, and you can always say, I wish I would have done this, and it's good to do that, because now on the other side of the fence, you're coaching a team, you're leading a program. It's say, hey, what didn't work in the playing years? What worked? What can we keep? What can we throw out the window? And I think really going for the short time in college playing baseball, I mean, you really learn a lot just because it's such a higher level, and they think higher level thinking of baseball. And so I think really pitching-wise, kind of pitch sequencing and things like that, and managing a bullpen, say, hey, we want this guy for this week, this guy for this game, and kind of rearranging some things. And then offensively, setting a lineup was big for us, or big for me when I got to college. Of, okay, I want this guy here. I don't want to go 6 batters that are right-handed and then 3 that are left, just to give the opponent an advantage of, hey, we're going to put a lefty against these righties, and then opposite or lefty on lefty at matchup. And so just little things like that you pick up along the way are really going to be helpful just in the coming years of. Obviously, the first year is going to be trial and error a little bit, but hopefully we'll have some guidance along the way with assistant coaches and guys to kind of help me and lead me along the way. So.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky. Thanks for joining us this morning. Josh, you also played a bunch of football at Caldwell County, and like you said, you're still an assistant coach on the football team. Do you kind of bring an aggressive mentality because of football to baseball?
You do, in a sense. You do. I mean, obviously, you want to be aggressive on the field, and we're going to do that. And so, like I said, on the bases, we're going to try to steal. We're going to run the bases. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to try to steal runs when we can. And I mean, football is such a hard-nosed sport. You have to be aggressive, and so I think it just plays into Caldwell County baseball as well. As Caldwell County sports it's aggressive sports. It's aggressive culture, and we're gonna go out. We're gonna show you who we are, and if you don't like it, then I guess too bad. But it's just how we're gonna play. So.
What are you guys doing this summer to get ready for baseball and football?
Yeah, so this is. I mean, at a small school, your guys. You look at your guys on the team. You've got 7, 8 guys that play at other sports, and so in the summer we've just wrapped up, obviously with postseason stuff, and so we've kind of given them just a break to get away from ball, go be a kid, go have your summer, enjoy it, and so we're into football now, and so enjoying that, working on that, and we've got some baseball kids playing football, and which is good to see. It's good to see kind of those cross sports, cross athlete type things, but we'll pick up some. After football, and we'll get into kind of swinging the bat stick a little bit. We'll throw. We'll do some defensive stuff inside if it's not too cold outside. But just kind of really taking it easy for baseball and just kind of getting into football mode and really looking forward to the season coming.
You know, this spring there were 3 schools that had teams in the softball and baseball regional semifinals. One was Henderson County, one was Christian County, and one was Caldwell County. Mm. And one of those schools is not like the others.
That's right. Both a really good season by the softball team. From what I understand, they're pretty young as well. They've got a lot of talent coming back. I've got nothing but high expectations for them. Coach Butts does a great job with preparing those girls. I think they had an outstanding season. If I'm not mistaken, they made it to the semifinals too in the regional tournament and kind of made some noise. And really good season by the softball team.
Well, I really appreciate you coming in this morning and talking. And again, congratulations on the baseball head coaching position, and look forward to seeing the team back out there next spring.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Todd. Thanks for having me.
That's Josh Young, Caldwell County baseball head coach. Also appreciate Matt Fralix coming in earlier this morning and talking some basketball with us here on the Sideline Report. That's going to wrap us up for this Thursday morning. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and YourSportsEdge.com. Thanks for being with us here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY, Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Stocks start the day lower on Wall Street. We've got some new numbers on the economy. Home construction's down.
7% on permits. That's new construction, but that hasn't started. And then starts, construction underway, 14.4%. We had a gain of 5.5% last month.
Cheryl Castoni with Fox Business. New weekly unemployment claims slightly lower at 229,000. and Islamic State terrorist leaders captured in a U.S. military raid in Syria.
Officials with Operation Inherent Resolve say the captured leader was a bomb maker and no civilians were harmed, nor was there any damage to any coalition aircraft or assets. Earlier